So not in Mumbai, not in other region. So that way I'll not have any problem. All of you understood this? Okay, so now guys, I'm going to teach you how do we create an instance. So first thing, now I'll be little fast. You have to come to EC2 instance. Okay, and here EC. No, it's just 10 from now onwards, how we'll do, I'll tell you. 10 minutes of discussion we'll do, 10 minutes of demo I'll show you, and after that 15 minutes of lab I'll give it to you. And also I'll share the this one, what is it? Step-by-step guide also, so you'll not get lost for that. Yeah? Yeah. Got it? Okay. So can I show you that now creating an instance? All of you are ready? So guys, here instance, I'm creating it. So I click on the EC2 dashboard, click on the instance. Here it says launch instance. You might get lost with too many icons. Don't worry about it. Slowly you get used to it. Launch instance here. And here, now guys, this is the new window. Okay, this is the new window. And here you can say, hey, I want the new older screen. So you okay with this screen also? Okay with the older screen also? It's up to you which UI you wanted. Right now, this UI, I can use it, but I feel like explanations in terms of explaining the things, old UI is good. Okay, so you can use this UI if you are comfortable, but I will explain you the older UI because explanation is much better in the older UI. So opt out of the old experience to the old experience. This is the older UI. Now here, if you see that, look at my screen very carefully. Here you have all this thing in 2 steps. See that very simple way. Here they're saying, hey, step 1, choose the image. Image means Windows, Linux, which Windows, which Linux, all the stuff. Here, choose the instance type. Type means simple way, I'll put it up for timing CPU and RAM. So they have fixed their types in form of CPU and RAM. Here you can configure more options, add storage, tags, security groups. Now guys, whenever you see security groups in AWS, that means it is a firewall. It is a firewall. Will you remember this statement all the time? So firewall for this instance and then review. That's all. So guys, please focus on it. So here I am I'm sharing with you this one. So guys, here now you have to decide which AMI you want. So guys, AWS has given some quick start AMIs to start with it. Here you see Amazon, here you see Red Hat, Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows, and blah blah blah. You can see the quick start also. Now guys, if you see in the my AMIs, you will have the AMIs which you created. Right now in Ohio region, I do not have any AMIs, so my AMIs now. Now, if you want to buy a AMIs machine images from the market, which will having certain software already, then you can do that also. Look at this here, Barracuda, Juniper, and so many. You look at these numbers. Infrastructure software AMIs you get 3633. DevOps related AMIs you get 2963 and so on. So you see that a lot of AMIs you have it available. So let's say if you want the one software to be up and running within a no time, so you can get this AMIs. Let me tell you here, there is a payment structure extra for it. So the moment you use those AMI, you will have a little bit of extra payments for it. For example, OpenVPN will have a little bit of their pricing. So as long as you run that, you'll have to pay a little bit of extra. See here, they have written here also how much it will cost you if you run this to your stuff. Okay. So here you have a community AMIs also. Community AMIs means the AMIs which has been developed by community. Now, if you look at this here, in the Ohio region, you have a 95,000 community AMIs plus. Okay, so it's like this. So now we'll not get into that any marketplace or here and there. because we want to learn AWS. So quick start. Now I will have two machines created for you, one Windows but one Linux. Now I'll ask for voting in a Linux, which one you want. Whether you want a Linux RHEL, CentOS, Fedora, Debian, Ubuntu, Kali, which one you want? Amazon. Yeah, yeah. So if you go for the RHEL, you have again 7 and 8 version. So here 8 is there, 7 is not here because you'll have to search for it. It got deprecated. Now what I will do, I will go for this instance only. Okay. Now, do you know how to operate RHEL 8 or some other version also? Let's say Ubuntu 20 is there, which is easy to use. Which you guys are comfortable? Ubuntu. So Ubuntu 20 is there. If you scroll down, 18 also will be there. 22 will be is there. So all these things there. Now, guys, you have to remember that these two architecture. Now both are different architecture actually. So 64-bit x86, which is AMD, and 64-bit ARM. ARM and AMD is basically computing algorithm basically. So AMD, which is highly, you guys are, we all are using AMD most of the time. But you know, mobile, what they are running in the mobile, you must, everyone must be having mobile. So in that, which processor they are running? ARM. Okay, so if you want the AMD, like your laptop is running with the AMD, but your mobile is running with the ARM. So both have a certain different advantages and disadvantages. But for time being, we want to run our applications, of course, AMD by default. But yes, you can go for the ARM also. Now let's say if you select the Ubuntu 22 and here done. Now that's a step number one. Second step, which you have to select the instance type. Okay, now here if you see that there's a family called, and if you scroll down, there'll have a lot of T, C, B, F, G, all these things. You will have a hell lot of options. So what exactly these are? So these all are basically nothing but is like a family of CPU, okay, and RAM. So right now I'll not get you lost here, but if you look at the T family, here you can see that this is a one CPU, half GB RAM. This one CPU, 1 GB RAM. Now here it is a free tier eligible. So let me tell you, my account is very old, almost 12 years. But yes, if you have a free trial account and within a 1 year, that means this is a free for you. This one CPU, 1 GB RAM is free for you. So whenever whatever is free, you will see this label, free tier label. Will you remember this? So here you should go for free tier and select this one or this one. I will request you guys, do not go for the higher configuration, because our ultimate purpose is to create an instance, not to create an instance with a higher configuration. Remember, let me tell you, the more higher configurations you go, you'll have to pay a little bit more for it, and there's no use of it right now. So here this I'm going for one CPU, 2 GB RAM, or you can go for one CPU, 1 GB RAM. For time being, this is more than sufficient for our demo, so we can go for it. Again, I must remind you, it will be free for you if it is a new account. You should also check this free tier eligibility documents for that. So now I have selected okay, instance type, one CPU, 2 GB RAM for the sake of demo. And next, configure instance detail. Now guys, here this detail you need to understand a little bit all of these fields in detail. For time being, I'm not complicating too much. This is a step number 3. Number of instances, how many? So of course I want only one instances right now, but here you can do 100 also, 1,000 also. So guys, I will request you not to do any playing around and all, because this will be simply it will waste resources. So right now only one, that is sufficient for us. Now you'll say, Rajesh, what are the things we have to select from here? Right now I will request you to just leave it as it is, because I want you to be comfortable with it. Okay, so here one instance, that is more than sufficient. Now after that, fourth step, you have to add a storage. Now, I will request you to read all this stuff while doing it. Don't run blindly. Now, here is saying, hey, what is the root storage which you're going to add? It's 8 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB. So here, if you can read it, here it says free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 GB of EBS general purpose SSD or magnetic storage. Right now, I don't care because it's not a free tier account. So right now, 8 GB is sufficient for running the Ubuntu 22. Next tag, here you name it, and name is Rajesh Linux. We all are working in the Ohio, remember that. And next, security group. Remember that security group means firewall. Now guys, here you have options, create a new security group, or here you have option, select an existing security group. Right now I'm going to create a security group for myself. So this is the Rajesh Linux or Rajesh SG. I'll write a Rajesh SG security groups. And here, which port you should be opening up in this 22 port. More port you can open up, but not now. Review. And this is the all review options you have to do, and then launch. Now guys, here this is very important. Now for any machines to create, whether it's Windows or Linux, you will have to have a keys for it. Now there's an authentication method. You have to log in the Windows or Linux. So you can use the keys, you can use the password. So AWS do not give a password by default. You have to generate it. That's a different process. I will teach you. But for time being, you have to select your own key. Remember that this key is important. If lost, you will not be able to access that machines again. So here you will get a private key. They will have a public key. Okay. So I'm going to create a new one. And this is a Rajesh training, and here download, others they will not allow you to launch. Download. Now guys, this key I have downloaded, it's here, and now this key I'll copy on my desktop, and this I named it AWS. So this key I'm having at this place. Okay, after this, what are you going to do? After that, what do you want to do? Launch instance. That's all. So guys, I created one Linux box in front of you and explain you all these steps also. Did you understand all of you? So guys, here now you see that instance name, ID, state, type, and many other options. If you click here, bottom side, you will get a hell lot of information. I will request you don't rush each and everything, just read it. Slowly we'll understand one by one each one of these. So you go into the details, read all these options, go into the security, read all these options, go into the networking, storage, status check, monitoring, and tags, and become comfortable. Many of things you see that immediately you understand. Many of the things I need to teach you as well. Now I said, remember every instance you get a two IP address. One is public, one is a private. What is a public, what is a private? I need to tell you all these things. But anyways, this instance is running. Okay, now if you see here under the instance state, you can stop this instance, start it, reboot it, hibernate instance, and terminate it. Let me tell you here, terminate is the one which you lose forever. Stop it, again start it, or reboot it. More or less you understand all these states. There are some actions is also there, but I don't want to go into that right now and complicate this flow. So guys, now you know that how to create a virtual machines of Linux and see the status. Now guys, I'm going to create one virtual machines of Windows also, and that way it will be completing the flow. So launch instance one more time. Guys, here I'll select for the quick start. I'll go for the Windows VMs. Here 2019 base, I'm selecting it. And now select here how much CPU or how much RAM. So I'll go for one CPU, 2 GB RAM. Here again, same thing. How many instances of Windows? Only one. Don't select too many. It's just a waste of resources. Add storage. So for Windows, minimum 30 GB is required. That's a you know that Windows is very heavy. And then tagging. This is the tag is important. That way you can identify. So Rajesh Windows. And then security groups, which is a firewall. Now this time what you can create your own security groups for Windows also, but right now I don't want to complicate, and here I want to go to the Rajesh SE, the one which I created in the last review. They're saying some message. Can you please tell me what is exactly this message is? Can you please tell me? All of you? Yeah, remember that Linux you can connect from the remote locations using SSH, and Windows which you can connect to which protocol? RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. Correct them? RDP. So SSH works with which port number? And RDP works with 3389. So now they are saying warning, hey, AWS is saying, hey, you have created AWS, but you know what? To access it, you have to open up this port. But if you look at this background, I have only open up SSH port in a security group. Remember that security group is your firewall. Okay, so you need to understand that. So this warning, I can do it later also, no problem. And this is the all these things which I selected, launch. Now, which key? So I'm going to use this time existing one. So choose an existing one, Rajesh training, something like that. So Rajesh training, where here it is, acknowledge, launch. Okay, so guys, by now I got two machines, one Windows, one Linux. Now, you know what? I will go here and do little bit of cleanup for you. What cleanup? Because I see that too many security groups are there. You probably get confused with it because it's of the last training. So I'm going to clean it up, most of it, except the default and mine one. And defaults are here. And mine one is Rajesh, somewhere here. Okay. So except this, I'm going to delete this. How do you delete? You have in front. Security groups you can delete if it's not even used. And done. And you see that now you have a little security groups. Refresh it. In AWS, there's a refresh issues actually. So you always have to refresh it to see the latest data. Now you have security groups, only 3. You'll have no confusion. Now, key pairs also too many. So I'm going to delete it. By the way, except mine. So I have a Rajesh training, that's mine key. Rest of the keys from the student, which is from the old batch. So I'm going to delete this. And now it should be clear, not too many keys, not too many security groups. So it'll be easy for you to do the demo. Now you see that how many instances running? 2. How many instances you have here? How many key pairs? So again, refresh issues. See here, only one key pair, which is mine, and security groups. Volumes I have used 2 because of 2 instances. Each one of these got a 1 volumes and snapshot 0. All this thing we'll talk about it one by one. But so far, this is the way we can create an instance of Linux and Windows. Make sense, guys? All of you? All of you? Okay, now guys, if you look at this here, each VMs, you see that you get a public IP address and private IP address. So what exactly that is? Understand in a simple context. Okay, so public IP means, see here. So this is the AWS. That's where somewhere in the Mumbai or somewhere else, and or maybe USA. And this is my laptop, and this is me. I am this me, and I am working with this laptop somewhere from the Bangalore. Okay. Now the question is, this you have AWS, this you have a VPC, and then your virtual machine is running. Now virtual machine is okay, AWS is okay, but what is a VPC? So VPC is a network. I'll talk about in a next upcoming session. So right now, think about it. I am in my home and accessing my laptop, and this machine is basically in a different network of AWS, and I want to access it. So how do I access it? So can I access this one directly to this IP address of this VM? What do you think? Can I access it? I'll put it in a one more context. Let's say you are in home right now. I'm also in my home. Now you are connected to the internet. I am also connected to the internet. But you have a one network. I am also having one network through the router. So tell me, can I directly ping, or can I directly connect to your laptop, which is you are in a different locations? Can you do that? No. Why not? Because the limitation of network. So guys, this is the same problem what AWS has. See here, every VMs you run, you get a one IP address. What is IP address? This one, this is called public IP address. Let me show you first. So here, this is the public IP address. Sorry, private IP address. So every instance which you create, you get a private IP address. That IP address is the real one. So now the question is, what is a public IP address? See here, the challenge is people are around the globe, they want to access the resources which is hosted by AWS. So what AWS says, hey, listen, do one thing, I'll give you a public IP address at the global level. That means this IP address will be accessible from anywhere part of the world, anywhere. So this IP address, what I will do, the moment you request to this public IP address, I will transfer that traffic to route that traffic to the private IP address. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello? Yeah. So here they need a public IP address. Why? Because to access this one, routing region. So now this is the public IP address. This is the private IP address. Let me tell you guys few things which may not be able to tell you through slides. Public IP address is free. Public IP address is free as long as you are running the instance. The moment you stop the instance, public IP address will be released to the AWS. Mind it, I said the moment you stop the instance, public IP address will be released to the AWS. Now again, if you start it, you will get a new public IP address. Are you understanding? So that means if you stop and start, you get a new public IP address. Now, if you restart the VM, then public IP address will not change. I repeat, if you restart the VM, public IP address will not change. The moment you stop the VM, public IP address will be released. Okay, so did you understand the public IP address when it get released, when it's not get released? All of you? All of you? Hello? Now the question is how to avoid this. I don't want to change the public IP address all the time because it's annoying, right? Too many IP address every restart, So what to do? The fix is elastic IP address. This IP address you have to allocate yourself and attach to the VM. How to do that? I'll show you a little bit later. First, understand that EIP, wherever you see, that's IP address will never change. That means you are reserving for it. But there is a cons for it. Okay, remember that if you if you buy the public IP address, you'll have to pay for it. But the moment you attach to some instance, it'll become free. Understand that. EIP is free, very simple. EIP, elastic IP address, which is a permanent IP address of public IP address, is free as long as you are running the instance. If you are not running the instance, you have to pay for it. Are you understanding now? So now the question is, where is the public IP address? So yes, you know now. This is the public IP address. Here, this is the private IP address. This will change it if I stop it. If I restart it, it will not change. How can you change this to EIP? So somewhere here, you can buy this EIP, which I'll do that sometime in demo. and then you can attach to it. So for time being, you understand public IP address, private IP address. Clear? Can I show you the demo now? Next, how to access it? All of you? Okay. Now, guys, let me ask you one thing. Are you using Git Bash or Putty? Tell me. Okay. So here, understand that. Here, I'm teaching you. If you're using Git Bash, using that also, you can do SSH. If you are using Putty also, you can do SSH, no problem. Okay. So you can do SSH. But you know, guys, for this SSH, you need a key which is in the PEM format. But for here, you need a key which should be in the PPK format. Now, which one you get it from AWS? PEM format. So this key will work. This key will work with the Git Bash. If you want the PPK, then what you need to do, guys? You need to have some conversion tool from PEM to PPK. So there is one tool which is we have it, Putty generator. So let me generate that PPK file. So here Putty gen, I am going to use it. And here at the bottom, I have it. I have installed it, is there. But if you don't have installed it, no problem. I'll share the article for you. So conversion, import key. Now locate at the desktop, AWS, here. Now don't click here and there, save private key. Yes. Now what is the file name? Rajesh, and it's a PPK file. And here you see, this is the PPK file, this is the PM file, you got it. Now, you will say, Rajesh, I don't know from where we to get a Putty gen or not. Not to worry, I'll share the step-by-step documents which you can follow and get it done. And here you have Putty. And here you see Putty. See, how to log in Linux server of AWS from Windows using Putty. So here you have this guides. Here you have a step 1, step 2, step 3, which I did just now, and after that you can log in to this. Okay, so this is the guides for accessing it. So far so good, right? All of you? All of you? Okay, so now guys, I am going to collect my IP address. Let me do that. I don't have a password, I have a keys. I'll generate a password a little bit later. So this is a one box, which is of Linux, and this is a Windows. So this is a Linux, and this is a Windows. Okay, so we've got a two machines. Now, first I'll show you through the Putty because I got a PPK file also. So I go to the Putty. Don't worry, a screenshot I have shared with you. And this is the Putty, guys. Put the IP address, click on SSH, click on this plus button, click on auth, browse the PPK file. I repeat, PPK file, which is here, and click open. Now you will say, what is the username then? Click here, accept. What is username? So I know that the username for Ubuntu is Ubuntu only. But now you'll say, Rajesh, how do you know that? So you could have done it, this one also. This one, and they will have options, which is a connect, session manager, SSH client, and now here, see that here. So if you try to connect, they will tell you which ID you have. There are other ways also to know that, not complicating too much. So Ubuntu. So here, what is Ubuntu? Remember that using key, I logged in. And now do whatever you want in this box. Clear, all of you? All of you? Now, second thing, how can we access through Bash? So here, guys, right click on that, the place where you have a key. Go here, SSH-I, and then key name Rajesh, PM, and IP address, which is here, Ubuntu @ enter, and yes. That's all. So using the PM file also, you can log in. This is the code which I ran. So for Putty, you have a step-by-step guide here. For SSH PM file, here you have options. Are you okay, all of you? Now I'm going to access the administrator. So guys, administrator, you know that you can do through RDP. So I'll click on this here, remote desktop connection. It's there by default for everyone. Put the IP address. Now it's not connecting. So what to do? Any idea what to do? So remember, you have not open a port number. So you have to open up a port number. So guys, here Windows is using security groups, which is here. So I click on the details, next tab, security, and click here. By the way, there are many ways to do that also. You can go to the action, network security, and here you can change the security group also and modify this. You can go back and access the security group. So right now, I just click on it, and here inbound only 22 is open. I am going to open up the Windows port also. So what to do? Edit inbound rules, add, and here RDP, which is here by default. From where? So from everywhere, and save rules. That's all. So after that, I click on connect. Now I'm able to connect. Now I don't have user ID and password. So guys, you have to generate it. So go to the EC2, and here we have Windows. Again, you should try after 4 minutes from the creation time of Windows. And after that, click on the connect. And here you see RDP client. Okay. And here you see that. Do you see get password options? All of you? Hello? Hello? Yeah. So get password and browsing the PPK file, a PM file, okay, which you have downloaded. And here, decrypt the password. And here it is. And this is Ubuntu, this is administrator user for Windows and password. Now created it. Now I can go and paste it. ADMIN administrator. Yes. And here you have Windows. Now do whatever you want. So guys, all of you understood that so far? So now guys, let's do the summary. What I did, I talked about IAM, and then I showed you how to create a users, how to create a group, how to create a policies, attach the policy to the group and assign the user to the group and get a IAM access. After that, I taught you how to create a Linux VM, how to create a Windows VM, how to log in a Linux VM, how to log in a Windows VM. Also, I talked about the security groups and significance of keys. Also, I did discuss about what is the life cycle of VMs when you stop it, start it, and stuff like that. Also, some of the introductions of plastic IPs. Any questions so far?
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.